What if Satan's greatest alibi for this moment that we're in is 3IATLAS? Whether it's a rock or some technological craft, I believe it could be his alibi that causes the world to believe that the Klingons have taken millions off the planet. Stay tuned. Greetings in the precious name of the Lord Jesus. I'm Dr. Joe Fierce, and I'm here to talk to you briefly again about 3IATLAS. A lot of people are asking me questions. Why do I believe it's a spaceship? Why don't I understand that that's what scientists are trying to say? Avilov and all these different people, Michio, all these different science people are trying to say. But there is a division amongst NASA and some of the leading science, like Avilov. NASA isn't saying anything about what's going on. And you got men like Michio, you got people like Avilov that are saying that this thing has now 9 anomalies. It doesn't make sense. Now, it seems like they're trying to implicate that it could be alien. It could be another life form. Now, in some people's mind that believe in the Big Bang Theory, they would love to just make it be so and say, see, there is no God, there's a life, because there's 100 billion galaxies, there's 100 billion stars, and there are all types of planets like Earth, just like Earth, in those places. Now, that's the imagination of fallen men. They suppress the truth. And the reason they suppress the truth, the Bible tells us in Romans chapter 1, is because of their unrighteousness, ways and deeds and their thinking. They don't want to be subject to an eternal God. So they make these hypotheses out of their own wicked imagination. While Romans chapter 1 says things that are seen clearly lets us know that there is a God. All of us really know deep down inside, but we suppress it because there's an itch inside of all these type of people that want more because the mind can think, and they want to eliminate God in their thinking and said there's got to be something else. There was a big bang. There's got to be life. This universe is so vast. There has to be life out there. First of all, I disagree totally with modern scientists, because science itself is good. Science itself can prove that there is a God. These leading science and astrophysicists, geophysicists of today want to say 3IATLAS is a spaceship, which it could be. I will say that it could be. I'm not going to eliminate that and say it's not. I know some people have said no, it's a rock. It's got to be a rock. I can't say that because of some things I'm going to get into in a minute. I want to say some things that why I believe it could be some kind of craft, but it could very well just be a rock that God has sent as a part of the delusion. He could have made it do all these different things. He's God. You could have had the angels flung it through space, and right, because we know that some of the things that Avilov is saying and science says is true. You know, it's right on our elliptical plane. That is odd. It's perfectly sent, perfectly. 5 degrees within a 5-degree margin. So we know that somebody sent it or something has caused this. That's what we do know. And I tend to believe in this moment in time that it is a part of the strong delusion that God is going to send in these last days, right before the rapture of the church. You know, they don't believe, the scientists, they want to believe otherwise, that some craft has come so they can say, you see, there's other life forms with all those billions of galaxies and the vastness of the universe. There has to be. But I don't believe for one moment that God would even remotely create a big universe and just put random situations out there that could be anywhere remotely like human beings, sinful. I don't believe God would do it that way. God started with the angels, and then the next thing he did, he brought us to this planet. And then I believe God has grandiose plans for the people that love him in eternity. Because Paul says, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard the glory that's going to be revealed. It's going to be amazing. I believe the universe will be inhabited, but I don't believe it's totally inhabited by anybody other than the angels, God, and us. That's what I believe. That's there. God is just, it doesn't go with his narrative. It doesn't go with the way he rolls. He does things in an order. And it's clear that the order was to start here, start with the angels, then start with us. And now we're going through these trials, these tests, and he became our Savior. And he gave us free will. And he died for us because of the fall of Adam in the garden. Now, besides all that, I believe science is wrong when I know science is wrong when it says that there is no God. They're fools. The Bible said the fool has said in his heart there is no God. It's because they're reaching and they're suppressing the truth. Now, that's what the world today that's a narrative that they want to push. That's why they want to prove that there's life out there. Now, here's where I believe they could be right about the spaceships, because God says he was going to send them a strong delusion because they did not believe the truth. They suppressed it. They believed what they wanted to believe. So there is an age of technology that we have right now with these AIs, and you can't even tell who's who. People can make deep fake videos of somebody, and you won't even know the difference of who they are. There's a lot of fake stuff going on right now in this very hour. So we have to be cognizant of that. But God says he was going to send a strong delusion. God was going to send them something to make them believe a lie. So there could be a spaceship. And it could have what I believe would be the Nephilims, if it is a spaceship. Because God knew what was going to happen when there was rebellion. God knew what was going to happen during the flood. God knew all these things. And there could be some kind of ship or some kind of craft that's out there. We don't know. I don't believe it's like a whole bunch of them. If it is, I don't believe it's like a mothership, if like what they're trying to say. It could be something small, something big enough to house a certain amount of beings. If it is a spaceship, if it is. But I do know that Enoch and Elijah did not leave this planet. Well, according to our understanding, they could not go out in space on a chariot with horses without having oxygen. So they got to be in some type of craft. There was some type of craft that took him to outer space, because we can't breathe like that. We know that. Not unless God did something supernatural, and he could have. But I'm just saying there's a possibility of both ways. That there was a craft already made, and Enoch and Elijah is in them somewhere. I don't know. Now, having said that, so there is a possibility that there could be some kind of craft, because all the UFOs we've seen, there's something going on. We can't deny that. There's something going on. These UAPs, the government didn't say anything about them. Now they're prepping us. For the last several years, that's all they've been talking about on C-SPAN and the Congress, up in the Senate, talking about these UFOs. And they have eyewitnesses that have seen strange things, that seen craft they shot, and all they did was just budge them a little bit, and they kept going. There are craft that go 4 times the speed of their craft, they stated. So there's a lot going on. So we can't deny all this stuff. So there's a lot. Now, the Bible doesn't tell us every little detail, but it tells us what we need to know. And if we press hard, we can understand things a little better. So I don't think strange that 3IATLAS could be some kind of craft. It could be. NASA is hiding pictures. They won't show them. Why won't they? You know, it doesn't seem like NASA wants us to believe it because Abbey Loeb is pressing them, but it could be a facade to get us ready for what's about to happen. Who knows? How do we know that if it's fallen angels, that they haven't already been talking to these people that don't know God, and they are fascinated, and some of them already believe that they have this technology. It's a lot of scenarios that could be happening. We can't just eliminate stuff because of our thinking. Come on, guys. So, but I'm one. I don't believe that there's any other life forms other than the angels, God, and us. That's what I believe. And I believe the deception would be, the delusion would be that, oh, we found other life, and they would believe them, and they would be deceived by them. They would be deceived. That's what the world is about to go into. Great deception. Great deception is coming on the earth. You can already see it with this AI stuff, this technological stuff. It's great deception. It's on the earth even now, and it's going to happen greater. So for me, I believe 3IATLAS could be a moment in time whereby God has already started the delusion by sending this thing. And now they are just waiting for something cataclysmic to happen. Something that is going to shock the world. Something whereby Satan could use as an alibi. It would be Satan's greatest alibi to say that the Klingons came and got all those people that left at such and such a time. We've been monitoring them for years. We've been following them for years. And the world would believe it. Hook, line, and sinker. It flows with the narrative. It's a good narrative that Satan could use. And it's a good narrative that God could allow so that they would believe a lie. So there's got to be something that's going to happen that's going to be not normal, out of the ordinary. It's going to capture the world's attention. And you know, Satan is already scheming because we're talking believers now. We are making videos. We're saying things. So he's got to have a strategy to eliminate everything that we're saying that's rip the covers away from society and show something to be totally opposite of what we're saying when it comes down to these end times. So let us not say it's just rock. It could be. But it could be something technological that God is going to use to allow them to believe the lie, the big lie. Think about that. But I know without a doubt, as far as believers, we don't have anything to worry about. I believe that we're in a great watch right now. Great high watches right now. It's a high watch. I know we had thought about the revelation sign. We thought about the blood moons and all these things, and the sun being darkened. And we thought about the feast days, and we thought about all these things. But what if God is using a rock? What if he's using a rock to create a delusion that the world is going to believe? What if these beings are already on the planet? What if the Nephilim are already on the planet and they're going to come out of the ocean and they're going to come out with these highly technical crafts to make us think otherwise? What if it's just a rock that God has sent to strengthen Satan's deception so that they could believe a lie? Because I can tell you there's nothing out there right now other than God and the angels. The future belongs to his people. The universe belongs to us, guys. That's why I'm excited about the rapture. I'm excited because I know what it brings. It brings a better world. Not just world, let me say better world. God says he's going to shut down everything. The elements of the universe, everything will be shut down at some point. And God's going to create a new heaven and a new earth. We are going to inhabit these things. And we are going to explore forever. And we are going to inhabit the universe. Because our God controls and owns the vastness of the universe. I believe we are living in a pivotal moment. I know that in April this year, God spoke to me so clear. He said there's going to be a cataclysmic event this year that's going to shock the world. Could it be? Might it be the rapture that snatches us off this planet? And then immediately the strong delusion completely takes over and the world believes a big lie. Something to think about. Good day.